Now, I've seen some people say like, oh, this is the iPhone same team, not the iPhone 16 because it looks the same. Listen, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. All right, so my iPhone 16 Pro Max came in just in time because I had this important trip to the PlayStation headquarters to check out the brand new PS5 Pro. You guys are going to see firsthand what it's like to use and live with this phone, so let's get started. Also, if you want a chance to actually live with this phone, subscribe and check out my unboxing video with details on how you can land your own from your boy. Now I gotta say, it was a pretty typical start to the morning, but some things were definitely new. The new iPhone 16 lineup now have faster wireless charging speeds. I'm gonna get a little bit nerdy on you, but it charges at 25 watts, and they actually are comparable to being plugged in with a fast charger. With these kind of speeds and Apple's new longer cable, it actually makes charging wirelessly feel like an option to me now, since I can grab my phone whenever I want and not worrying about it not charging. But new charging aside, those new summarized notifications are here, and they're interesting. To be truly useful, I think we might need like another line or two so we can get a little bit more context to the conversation or overall message. All right, y'all, so for us, it's PlayStation Day. We're about to go check out that PS5 Pro in person. Of course, I'm going caseless right now because that's what I do in the real day in the life. Got to get the actual phone in hand and use it the way it's meant to be used by some people's standards. But we'll throw a case on this as soon as Jay stopped hitting record. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I basically did the same thing right after we shot our massive unboxing video and smacked a screen protector on this thing instantly. ESR was cool enough to sponsor today's video and sent over a bunch of gear, including one of the easiest screen protector systems I've ever used. You basically line up your phone in this box, pull a tab, and boom, it's on. So if you're bad at applying screen protectors, trust me, this makes it so easy. Yeah. They also sent over their newest cases. I was using ESR's classic hybrid case before we started shooting, but they also sent over their Cloud Soft case and their Cyber Tough case, and they each have their own special benefits. But one thing they have in common is that they're super durable, have really strong MagSafe magnets to make sure any MagSafe accessories don't just fall off. They also make it so that these are thin enough to give you the best wireless charging speeds if charging through MagSafe. But I think one of my favorite things is the fact that they've got this built-in camera guard, which also doubles as a kickstand for watching content. And of course, they all feature a cutout for that camera control button, which I plan to use a lot today since this is going to be my main camera. But of course, I'll have everything linked down below in the description. And I'm hoping the new sensors on the wide angle and the new ultra wide are gonna be able to get us some amazing shots of the PS5. You know, 4K 120, there's some good stuff in here. I'm hoping we could pull it off. Let's talk more about this. So the iPhone 16 Pros have new titanium finishes. This one is the desert titanium, so it's honestly kind of like that gold option. This thing has a bigger display. Throughout my time using it so far, it hasn't felt unruly. It's a 6.9-inch display instead of the 6.7-inch that we're used to with the previous models, or even like the Plus models. It doesn't feel too crazy in the hand. Nah, today's probably not the greatest day because I'm wearing tighter than normal pants.
Wait, where's your phone? Oh, that's in the pocket?
Yeah, my phone's right here.
That's really
gigantic,
yes.
But for the most part, I didn't have to get used to the size or anything. Just feels like extra real estate, and I'm not mad at that.
You notice?
Oh, while watching content and stuff? I feel like it's far more noticeable without a case. They actually decreased the bezels a bit. So on an overall larger phone, it almost looks close to those renders where it's like the bezels seem super small. I like that a lot. But we do have the new addition of that camera control button, and I've got some thoughts about this. So safe to say, the slightly bigger screen is very welcome to me, since it'll only help with things like content consumption and like browsing social media. And I did a good bit of that before leaving to see the new PS5. Look at that. Then Sony got me. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I spent a little bit too much time gushing over that 30th anniversary PS5. And with a 9:30 appointment, we needed to get out of the hotel and into an Uber. Where's my suitcase? Now, I don't know about you guys, but for me, Ubers are where I do one of three things: mobile game, social media, or getting emails knocked out. Now, I am on a developer beta, which has features that aren't accessible just yet, but some of these features will be coming next month, and today, we're just taking a look at what they'll feel like. And one thing I think people might take advantage of is definitely that rewrite feature that's coming. I'm not gonna lie, I like this feature because you can just type out a basic idea of what you'd like the message to say, and it should do the rest. You can't take it further than that, but that's for another time. And let's be real, this has existed with like ChatGPT and other AI tools, but what's special here is how readily accessible it's gonna be to everyone who has access to Apple Intelligence. I, for one, found it pretty convenient to get quick replies in while in the Uber, and I think the only challenge is going to be actually remembering to use it.
All right, so we're at Sony Interactive Entertainment HQ. We're gonna go check out that PS5. We got a lot of shooting to do, so this button is about to get some work.
And we're gonna talk about Apple Intelligence a little bit more later, but it isn't here yet. But you know what it is? The camera control button. This is a dedicated camera button for the iPhone 16 lineup, which should help it get closer to feeling like a real camera experience, which is important considering this is going to be my camera for the day. And I've got a lot of footage to shoot of this PS5 with Jay, and I'm hoping I can get some solid performance out of this whole camera system so we can use it as footage in our video. Jay's using a big fancy camera, and I gotta be able to pull my weight with this thing. And yo guys, I absolutely love what I saw with the PS5 Pro. The gameplay definitely looks solid, and we shot a lot of footage with the iPhone 16 Pro Max, and there aren't huge upgrades in terms of like the specs. We did see some sensor changes, but that ultra wide did turn into a 48 megapixel camera, so it definitely gives you some room to work with when you want to zoom in.
So right now we've got the perfect opportunity to try out macro shots because there's a lot of fine details on these new PS5 Pros, 30th anniversary edition. So we're gonna see if we can get close-up shots without getting too close, because we're not allowed to touch. Not close enough. You can get macro shots up to 2 centimeters away, but these are some really fine details. We need like an actual zoomed in macro lens. Oh, well, let's just try the zoom actually. Okay. Yeah, there we go. I think we got those details. So when all else fails, if you can't get too close to your subject, that's why you got that telephoto. But there's so many nice details in the back though. All right guys, so we just got out of the event, and I shot a lot of stuff. Let's see how much footage we actually have here. Actually, you shot stuff up here too, Jay.
I shot some ProRes stuff, so
Oh, did you? Thanks, I got no more space now, I'm sure.
Basically.
So we've got almost like 150 different pieces of content here. I want to check out the slow-mo though. With slow-mo, you can now shoot 4K up to 120 frames per second. Now, I don't want to lose anybody who's not a videographer here, but if you ever want to do slow motion now, the way it's implemented is so much easier. Check it out. So I wish there was something that indicated that you shot this in slow-mo, but if you do swipe up, you can just see 120 or 119. Now what's dope here is you can go from the video mode, and there's this little icon. You press that, and then you can pick how slow you want it to go. And let's see how smooth. Oh man, that's clean. And in the footage, usually with slow motion footage in a dark room, ain't gonna look good. Jay, this, I don't know, man. I think you're gonna think this is usable for the video.
Why we putting this camera here?
We bother with that.
Why we bother with that? Just
All right, so since we're talking about video, Jay actually recorded himself talking while I was talking to some of the developers. So check it out, now there's this option. If you wanna make this like your regular camera, you don't need to bring around something like that. If you care about your audio, you can go into audio mix and you can get different sound depending on what you're looking for or whatever.
Oh, well, this one had the enhanced mode, but this one just had the two.
No, I'm talking.
The basic stuff or whatever. Oh, well, this one had the enhanced mode, but this one just had the two. The basic stuff.
All right, so this is all cool professional video stuff. Honestly, I'm just trying to get a selfie with the PlayStation sign over there. That's not so professional.
Tourist.
I'm a tourist.
What did you have in here?
Jay, this is just my life, bro.
You just told me his backpack is the same as
The camera backpack, yeah.
I thought he was lying, but
See, I took over Jay's backpack because I can do this all day. See, this is too wide. We gotta zoom in a little bit. See, I wish it were a little bit smoother with the camera control. You see, right now I'm like it's either too sensitive or not sensitive enough. You know, it's also like zoom needs to come to the selfie camera. I know you can like just zoom in with this one button, but camera control should do that too. Whew. All right, Jay, you get a shot of me, man. What were you using to take pictures? On-screen button? Come on, Jay. You don't deserve to use the... So zooming with the thumb, I said this in the very first impressions with it. Using it with your thumb is gonna be a little harder, and I think that holds true. While with your index finger, I think you got a little bit more control on this side of things. Still wish it could feel a little bit smoother. So I'd love to see that get improved. Now, the other part that just kind of messes with my brain is when you press the button, you can't help but shake the phone a little bit. Thankfully with image stabilization, we're not getting ruined photos out of it, but mentally it's gonna take some getting used to. All right, I'm hungry though. Chick-fil-A right there, Jay, and a California fish grill.
We're in California. What are we doing Chick-fil-A?
We could ask Siri if there's food around here. You wanna do that? Are there any good, are there any really well-rated food restaurants nearby? Are there any that are higher than 4 stars on Yelp? Okay, so you see now we've got like a Google search. Instead of just following the context of what I was talking about, she kind of went a different route. So I know we can do that with some things like, how many people live in Japan?
124 million.
What's the largest city there? It has the context from my previous answers, but it just doesn't do what we want. I need some food though. What are the best steak restaurants around here? Victoria's Kitchen looks pretty good. Order an Uber to Victoria's Kitchen restaurant. Nah, they just give us directions. Okay, that's fine. All right, so real quick battery check while we wait for this Uber. It's 1:24 p.m. We've got 34% left, but we've been shooting a lot, an unfair amount. So Apple's got this section now that lets you know how long you've been using it, and it gives you the average of the screen on time that you've had over the, well, right now I've got 9 days, but the average over the course of that time. 5 hours and 32 minutes screen on. California vibes, right? All right, our Uber should be here, a black Tesla Model Y. Are we wrapped? Yeah, we're wrapped, baby. I wish I took a raw photo while we were out there. What's nice about raw photos is that you can do a bunch of them now really quickly with 0 shutter lag. You know what's one thing I also dislike about the camera control? All of the menu options go away while you're using it. Let's say I don't know, I'm doing something on here.
Yeah.
Give it back. You know, I don't want it to be gone. I feel like they can coexist. That's a good picture of you, Jay.
Oh, send me that one.
I got you. All right, we gotta talk about photos.
Like I said before, there weren't massive changes to the cameras, but the quality of the photos and the videos just look so good. It's what you expect from the iPhone. From what we saw today, I could absolutely get away with this just being my primary camera when I go to some events like these. But honestly, what I think I enjoy the most about shooting with these iPhone cameras is that you can depend on whatever it is you're trying to shoot, whether it's photos or video. Video, I think iPhone is absolutely king right now. There's no way you're beating it. With the inclusion of 4K 120 now, it's gonna be hard to top this. They make it so easy to use some of these features, so I am all about it. And the quality just looks so good. And on the photo side of things, I took a few shots of the kids. Ari was blown away. You get really good quality here. You get vibrant colors, tons of detail. And what I enjoy the most is that I can pretty much take it into most lighting situations, and I know I'm gonna walk out with something decent and color accurate. One thing I will say though, I do not like the Photos app. The Photos app feels like a bit of a mess right now. I love all the intention, but I'd like to see this thing cleaned up and streamlined. And if you feel like the colors just aren't for you, Apple introduced this thing called Photographic styles.
What's nice is that with these photographic styles, you got all these different looks or whatever, and you can move it around, so you can customize how each of them feels. And if you end up not liking it, you can always just reset it back to what Apple has it as.
On the left side of this section, you have undertone controls, which I love the idea about because, let's be real, these smartphones, they kind of struggle to get all of the skin tones just right. And what Apple's trying to do here is give users a little bit of control. It does tweak a bit more of the photo than I would have expected it to, but it actually does a pretty decent job. And on the other side of photographic styles, we have the mood. So if you want that more dramatic, filtered look, you're gonna wanna look in this section. We can go pretty deep with this entire section, but I will say, it could be pretty helpful for my photos in the future.
That smells so good. Come on, let's eat, man.
But we're seeing a lot of capabilities come to the camera side of things and overall performance side of things. Thanks to the new chip, we have the A18 Pro. And with this, of course, you're gonna get better performance across the board. As a big mobile gamer, that's always a good thing for me. But what we're also unlocking with these new chips now are just more and more capabilities for Apple Intelligence and pretty much Apple's use of AI. The more these chips get powerful, the more features we're going to see, and obviously better battery life because of efficiencies. But I am happy with the A18 Pro. And if you guys wanna know about the A18 in the iPhone 16 lineup, we're gonna talk about that in another video.
Sorry, y'all. We gotta get out of here. I'm gonna call my Uber, but I will say, Siri, good job. This is a good recommendation. Very, very happy. What is this place called? Victoria's Kitchen, Belmont, California. It's got my, Whoa, is that my family? Oh, very good, Adri. Bye, Adrian. And we're officially at 1%. So, 327. I really need to put this thing on the charger before it goes kaput on me. I need it for my boarding pass.
Now, this is actually pretty interesting because the iPhone has been pretty much capped at charging at 28 to 29 watts, but now we're seeing it go into the 40s even. And basically what's happening here is the phone still charges at that 28 to 29 watt speed, but when you see it go over that, it's basically making up for whatever activity you're doing on the device so that it can still charge at that 28 to 29 range, so that Apple's claim of the phone being able to charge to 50% in 30 minutes stands true. So that's kind of what we're seeing here. Overall, I gotta say guys, I really like the 16 Pro lineup. I know there are a lot of folks saying that this is the same phone, but Apple made it larger, they made a bigger display, less bezels, and they added a dedicated camera button, which I think are enough changes to kind of warrant this to be a new feeling device. I think we're at that point in the smartphone world where we're not gonna see massive design changes every year. We don't expect a redesign of a car model every year, and we're definitely in that same place with phones. Overall, it gets my seal of approval as a great device. I just wouldn't upgrade to it if I were coming from something like the iPhone 15. But I think with the 14 Pro or under, it's a safe bet.